Hello and welcome to this Leadership in Nursing crash course for professional nurses. As we work through the material of this course, you will find that there are prompts to pause the video to complete independent learning activities. These may include handouts included in your course packet delivered to you and/or discussion questions that should be submitted via the online discussion board forum. I've included the links where appropriate and have also included the link in your materials packet. So let's dive right in here and take a look at what the outcomes are for this course. Learners will assess their own nursing leadership ability, style, and role, and practice self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-assessment. Learners will apply nursing leadership and management theories, strategies, styles, and roles, and demonstrate effective communication, interprofessional collaboration, and respect for others and their professional perspectives. Learners will recognize sources of workplace stress and advocate for patients, self, and the nursing profession, and integrate strategies for delegation, self-care, mindfulness, and coping, and understand the impact of workplace stress on patient care and outcomes. Learners will demonstrate a commitment to the nursing profession, mentorship, evidence-based practice, quality improvement, patient safety, and informatics, and research according to the QSEN competencies. The Quality and Safety Education for Nurses Institute has identified several relevant competencies for nurses that include patient-centered care, teamwork and collaboration, safety and quality improvement, informatics and evidence-based practice. We all know these competencies well. They are reflected in the mission, vision, and goals of most healthcare organizations, and we use them to guide our care. In day-to-day practice, we work with a team to achieve a specific set of goals, to get our patients back to or above baseline and get them back to their lives. That's the goal. This concept is applied in nursing leadership as well. Your team may look a little different, but everyone has a role and a shared goal. Are you familiar with the values of your organization? What are your organization's values? What is their mission? What is their vision statement? Are they in alignment with yours? Pause the video now and use this link to access the online discussion board. Some additional ideas and knowledge for nursing leadership include self-awareness, having the ability to self-reflect, self-assess. This will be one of your greatest assets in your future as a nurse leader. More often than not, we find ourselves in difficult situations that challenge us emotionally, spiritually, and professionally. And the ability to be aware of your current thoughts and emotions while simultaneously reflecting on past experiences and considering future ones is a skill that will serve you well. Taking a holistic approach to leadership is truly at the heart of success. Emotional intelligence, or the capacity to be aware of and control one's emotions, is a skill I think realistically we practice every day. Nursing is an emotional profession. We pour our heart and soul into our practice and patients, so it's inevitable that we will be faced with situations with our patients or their families where emotions can be hard to contain. Our ability to find balance in supporting them and ourselves in a professional manner takes practice and develops with experience. In nursing leadership, emotions surrounding the work environment or staff will also require this level of emotional intelligence. Advocacy. Leaders must be mindful of issues affecting the nursing profession, staff, patients, and their communities, and advocate for positive changes. Nurse leaders must be able to function as a member of the team and possess excellent communication and collaboration skills. Mutual respect. It goes a long way, and having it is one thing, but nurse leaders should communicate their respect for members of the team and what they bring to the table. Spirituality is an important aspect of nursing. Our experiences as nurses can leave us questioning the meaning of life and reflecting on the work we do. A spiritual leader is one that embodies spiritual values such as integrity, respect, and caring, and demonstrates behaviors that enhance the work environment and promote the personal and professional growth of others. A spiritual leader is one that has high concern for the well-being of their staff and patients. Integrity fits right in there with spirituality. Nurse leaders must act with integrity and consistency and value the diverse perspectives and expertise of the team. I will say this again. Communicate this value, privately, publicly, however you see fit. Positive reinforcement goes a long way. Conflict resolution skills are also an important attribute of a nurse leader. Competency in ethics and a little basket full of conflict resolution strategies can help support nurses in their lifelong journey into leadership. So what is the purpose or function of a nurse leader? As we all know, healthcare evolves rapidly, from evidence-based practice standards to technologies, equipment, resource availability. We're constantly adjusting to meet the changing needs. Nurse leaders help organizations and teams reach their desired goals. Nurse leaders rely on organizational values, policies, and evidence-based research to guide their decision-making. Nurse leaders have the ability to inspire others to reach that desired outcome or goal. If you work in direct patient care, you are already a leader. You have the ability to influence the healthcare team, and you help address issues of patient safety, quality, and care decisions that impact patient outcomes all the time. In every care setting, nurses work with the healthcare team and patients to reach goals. So this, by definition, is a leader. Some nurses are in formal supervisory roles. Some are not. Leaders in positions of authority derive power from their followers. This could be a director of nursing, a charge nurse, nurse educator, preceptor. An informal leader may be someone who is highly charismatic, highly skilled, a nurse with seniority whom staff respect and look to for guidance and support. No matter the role, nurse leaders share common goals and work with others to achieve them. What's your definition of nursing leadership? Pause the video now and follow the link to this thread on the online discussion board. When complete, resume the video. Some specific functions of the nurse leader include agent for change and influencer, mentor, role model, or preceptor, evidence-based practice liaison. You will find nurse leaders orienting new nurses and staff to the clinical environment. Delegation is a common function of the nurse leader. Development of quality and efficiency improvement initiatives, resource management, and supervisory functions such as scheduling and evaluations. When considering the nurse leader versus the nurse manager, a nurse manager is one who plans, organizes, directs, and controls resources to accomplish objectives, and they always have an appointed position. They are influencers whose power is derived from their title. They oversee the use of organizational assets and resources and work to maintain balance. This can include staffing, supplies, and budget. Healthcare organizations rely equally on both leadership and management. The aim is to achieve goals, but there must be balance between leadership and management in order to meet the goals in a responsible and ethical manner. A leader has a vision and sets a course to fulfill it. They guide, inspire, empower, and encourage others to reach a shared goal. A manager can also be a leader, but as we likely have all experienced at some level, not all managers are effective leaders, and not all leaders are effective managers. But if you look at nursing practice at all levels, nurses provide care that empowers, motivates, and persuades patients to help themselves get well, or so we hope, by providing education and guidance. In managing patient care, you assess, plan, coordinate, facilitate the interventions to get patients well. In leadership, you assess, plan, coordinate, and facilitate the interventions to inspire others to make the necessary changes to reach the goal. We are all familiar with theory as a group of concepts, definitions, and propositions of relationships that can be used to help describe or explain an event or phenomena. Some theories or frameworks for nursing leadership include transformational leadership is described as two or more persons engaging with one another in a way that leaders and followers raise one another to higher levels of motivation and morality. The fostering of a leader-follower relationship through a shared commitment. The leader and follower in this theory support a common purpose. Inspiration, or the production of enthusiasm in others. Charisma, or ambition, the ability to create passion and pride in others. Intellectual stimulation, seeks input and explores new approaches and stimulates creativity. Individualized consideration, respect for the uniqueness of each individual and what they bring to the table. These are the components of transformational leadership. Transactional leadership. This framework is sort of the opposite of transformational leadership. It focuses on the exchange of something of value, with or without concern for a common vision. It is simply the exchange of one thing for another. Leaders give followers what they want in return for something leaders want. An example of this is reward in exchange for performance. Transactional leadership is not as applicable to nursing practice, and the American Nurses Association identified transformational leadership as the expectation for nursing leadership competency. Servant leadership is driven by desire to serve others, and this type of leader makes a conscious decision to accomplish this goal. Servant leaders put service to employees, patients, and communities above all else. There are 10 characteristics of servant leadership style that have been identified in literature: listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, commitment to the growth of others, building community. Servant leadership is holistic and is reflective of the caring nature and service to others of nursing practice. Situational leadership can be described as a leader that adjusts their style and behaviors depending on the situation at hand. In this framework, 4 leadership styles have been identified within the model: delegating, allowing others autonomy; participating, encouraging collaboration; selling or persuading; telling or giving instructions. Situational leadership is applicable to nursing practice, and it encourages leaders to practice assessment and critical thinking. It is more about being flexible and adapting one's approach to each situation. The authentic leader's style is reflective of their own personality and character. Being your authentic self and accepting one's own faults and making the most of their strengths. The authentic leader is well aware of their behaviors and way of thinking. Followers of an authentic leader would describe them as being aware of diverse values and morals. They are self-aware, transparent, ethical, and balanced. The 5 dimensions of authentic leadership are purpose, or a passion and desire to empower others; values, following a moral compass; heart, having empathy and compassion; relationships, creating and nurturing relationships with others; self-discipline, or being reliable, dependable, and fair. An authentic leader is focused on the journey, not just the destination. They have made a commitment to lifelong learning and growth. A leader is not a leader without followers. The relationship of a leader and follower is reciprocal and relies on interdependence or dependence on one another. There are different types of followers. There is the passive follower, who relies on the leader to provide them with motivation. There are yes people, who are supportive of the leader and energetically follow. There are pragmatics, who avoid risks. They're not really trendsetters. There are also alienated followers that have a negative energy and hamper progress and question leadership. Pause the video now and follow the link to the discussion board forum and answer this question. Think of supervisors you know or ones you work with. How do you categorize them into a leadership style? As a follower or employee, which style do you prefer? As a leader, which style do you favor? At the heart of nursing care and nursing leadership is overall ethical behavior and decision making. A nurse leader incorporates ethical principles into their day-to-day work. Ethics in nursing leadership involves a moral obligation to differentiate what is bad and what is good. In nursing, we must be familiar with our own values, beliefs, and behaviors, and how they influence interactions with patients, families, and our colleagues. The ethical principles of nursing care that we are all familiar with include non-maleficence or doing no harm, autonomy or promoting independent decisions, beneficence, having compassion and taking positive action to do good, altruism, selflessness, and care for the well-being of others, justice, equality, and fair opportunities in healthcare, veracity, commitment to honesty and truthfulness, and fidelity, keeping promises and commitments. Conflicts related to ethical issues are inevitable in nursing practice. It is imperative that nurse leaders practice self-awareness in these situations and understand the importance of being actively engaged in the resolution of conflict. The nurse leader is an advocate for doing the right thing. All too often, nurse leaders are faced with personal and professional situations that require them to make decisions that impact nursing staff and patients. Nurse leaders must ensure that these decisions are in line with their own moral standards as well as the organizational and professional standards. We have all faced ethical conflict in nursing practice. It may be a clinical situation with a patient or family member. It may be an issue related to the availability of healthcare resources to a specific vulnerable population. It is important that organizations and leaders within it have a well-established inventory of resources, such as guidelines and best practice standards, to base their collaboration and decision-making upon. Another important aspect of ethics in nursing leadership is the legal aspect. Nurse leaders should be familiar with the legal aspects of their role. These are established by the United States Constitution and the laws and statutes set forth by governing bodies, such as the Board of Nursing of your state. Organizational policies and procedures should be at the forefront of the nurse leader's ethical decision-making. Know your patient bill of rights. Have you seen this patient bill of rights? Is it distributed in your place of employment? To help address ethical conflicts, nurse leaders need to know the rules, the laws, policies, and standards of practice set forth by regulatory bodies. They should be able to gather relevant information, communicate their beliefs and concerns, and identify and communicate what they're trying to achieve. They should be scrupulous or rigorous in addressing difficult challenges, and think twice before taking shortcuts, and pause before making decisions. Pause to consider all of the facts and look at situations in a holistic manner. They should consider their past experiences and lessons learned and relate those experiences to the current one. As nurse leaders, we need to also celebrate ethical decision-making as a team and encourage open discussion about ethical challenges faced in practice. This can allow for different viewpoints, and staff should feel comfortable in sharing their ideas. Probably the most important strategy, in my opinion, is to lead by example. When you behave ethically, people will follow your lead. As a practicing nurse, your obligation is to care for patients. As a nurse leader, your role is much more broad, and your obligation is to address organizational concerns that impact patient care and staff. Nurse leaders are critical to establishing and maintaining an ethical culture in their work environment, a culture that is just and fosters growth and learning, and provides opportunities for learning not only for staff, but for leaders as well. Here are some ideas to establish and promote an ethical culture. Practice mindfulness. Use your voice and promote the ability of others to speak up without fear of retribution. Respect others. Build relationships, trust, and cohesiveness. Have tenacity and look at what is best for others. Another strategy for establishing an ethical culture is to implement formal teams or departments. I'm sure many of us have been a part of ethics committees and understand the need for this resource and can appreciate the good that it does for patients and staff. Self-awareness and self-reflection are incredibly valuable in the nursing profession and in everyday life. We learn from our experiences what to do, what not to do. We reflect on our behavior and maybe think, gosh, I won't do it that way again, or maybe next time I'll try this. Do you practice self-awareness? Do you maybe journal or meditate, or maybe just run things through your head over and over and brainstorm ideas of what should or could be done? What mechanisms do you use to practice emotional intelligence? How do you make yourself aware of your own behavior? If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. Our discussion of nursing leadership will continue in Module 2, where we will look at prioritization and time management, communication, teams, and management skills. Thank you for your participation, and I hope that you found the content of this course informative and encouraging.